What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Bogey Proof. I got myself, Mikey, and Joey tonight on the line, kicking off the year of 2022. Happy New Year, fellas. We're going to talk a little Sentry Tournament of Champions tonight, and we got a little gambling activity going on that we're trying to get all of our Bogey Proof followers involved in. But before we do that, as we always, where are we calling from, and what are we sipping on? Joey, you first.
Boys, back down in Florida, so enjoying the weather, as you guys probably aren't, but just water tonight. I have yet to buy booze, and that's on me, so until next time. Michael, yourself?
Yes, I'm drinking alcohol. It's January 4th. I'm enjoying myself back here in Ann Arbor. Little Whiskey Acres bourbon. I know I've talked about it on the show before. Stuff is good. Shout out to Jim and Kim Gorenz, my girlfriend Elizabeth's parents, giving me a bottle for Christmas. So that was nice of them. They gave me, for Christmas, I got a bottle of bourbon and a gift certificate to Top Golf. So they know a lot about me.
I was going to say they know you.
they know me well, even though I've actually never been to Top Golf before. So
Either guy. There's one in Fort Myers I need to go to.
Excited to try that out, though it's not real golf. So if people say it's real golf, it's not real golf.
It's a good way to you want to go out to dinner? Sure, let's go to Top Golf, but I just want to play golf. So I'm going to order whatever you want behind me here and try and get the high score. For
the high score right here.
Yeah. But
just work on this one thing. Sorry.
Yeah, but nonetheless, sipping on delicious bourbon. Seed to still out there in DeKalb, Illinois. Good stuff. You find yourself in the Chicago area, get out there because it's reasonably priced. And I think it's going to make, I don't know, I think it's going to go national. I think it's that good. It's that quality. They really have a good brand and something that's really only been around 5-6 years and it is ready to take off. But Mr. Fontaine, what do you got here in the new year?
Well, 2022 brings us January, similar to last year for those of our followers that have been around that long. We're gonna do a little dry January this year. Just the holidays just get me every year where after Christmas, I just feel like a bag of trash and I just need to cleanse everything, reset, whatever, all of the above. Right. And especially Joey was getting at, it's fucking miserable weather in New England right now. The week between Christmas and New Year's was in the 40s or whatever, which is decent temperature, but cloudy and rainy and wet every single day. And then today or this week has been sub 30 every day. So it's what am I going to do with that? I got nothing to do anyways. So might as well, show some discipline and try and get healthy for a month and try and get the holiday weight and, get in shape for the spring golf season that's quickly approaching us here. But yeah. So I got a polar seltzer flavored. We got a little watermelon mojito. Not quite delicious. Not it's got a little feng shui to it. I mean, maybe if it was a hard seltzer, I'd have a different answer, but I'm not feeling it, but whatever. You gotta drink it.
A straight watermelon mojito mixer. Interesting.
Yeah, straight mixer. Yeah. It's it's okay. We're gonna probably not gonna have any more of these this week.
Speaking of health and moving the body, I went to the gym today. I got the body moving, shoulder stretches galore. I'm trying. Yeah. So I've just determined that, after doing the TPI stuff last year, that was awesome. I am not motivated to work out. And it's just, I've realized that I like the idea of working out, but I'm never someone who's going to go to the gym 4, 5, 6 days a week. And I think I finally come to terms with that. It took me 26 years to do it. It took me a lot of competitive, football, golf to realize that that's, not who I am. So I'm trying to make the commitment to move my body every single day. It's difficult to get to the gym with grad school and work and coaching and all that kind of stuff, but I can move my body and, sit my ass on the floor when I'm watching TV or checking my emails in the morning, and stretch while I'm doing my coffee, or go for a walk, or do if I you get in those ruts through the day where you're just not productive for half an hour, go spit out and do a walk for a half an hour, and then reassess it and come back. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. And today was kind of the first step on that journey to moving my body.
Good for you,
Welcome to the
boy.
club. Welcome to just
Proud of you.
accepting the fact that we're not 5 to 6 day gym guys. Like I knew that back in college when coach was trying to get us through CPC. I was like, Coach, don't sign us up for more than 2 days a week because I ain't fucking going more than that. Like,
I'm out.
Like I've been a part of that a long time, and I'm with you. It's about like, all right, I got to get like a 2-mile walk in every day, or do like a legitimate 20-minute like stretching session for the back, for the shoulders, the legs, hamstrings, etc. You name it, right? Like 20-minute stretching session, like yoga, even on YouTube, beginners yoga things. Just search those puppies. They're 15-20 minute long. Like, love those, especially this time of year when it's cold as shit out and you can't like go outside and go for a run or do that walk. It's a good way, especially golfers, right? A lot of people listen to this podcast are golfers. Like, that's just like the best New England February or January, February, like thing to do for your golf game is like just start stretching. Cause like otherwise you're gonna come out in the spring all jazzed up, excited to play golf like we always are, and like hurt yourself probably if you like, push it and you get a good week of weather right in that, mid-March time frame, and you saw all of a sudden play 3 days in a row. Like, your body's not going to feel great. I mean, unless you're 17 still listening to this, like, the body ain't what it used to be. So it's a good habit to start forming if you can start doing it, during the winter months, and then kind of hang on to it as you start playing a little bit more golf. It benefits the golf game and benefits just everything about everything, honestly.
Yeah. And I think that's something we can do. Like, we can maybe put out some links or some pictures of like some really novice, like stretching, or, hey, like Fontaine, right? You talked about yoga. You just got this really great yoga thing that you did 20 minutes. Hey, here's a link to the YouTube thing that said, hey, this is what I did this morning. Great little workout for people that are looking to get a little more flexible. Like, I think our job with the Bogey Proof is not just to talk about the golf and the booze and kind of all those components, but like really provide the resources. So I think we'll hold ourselves accountable to do that when we see something that works out really good. Joey's going to do the same when he's down there in Florida, right? When he's got a good drill that he's working on, that he's working on with some players, or they're working on when he's, when he's working on with his swing or something like that. Like, so I think one of my goals too for 2022 is to be better and to provide resources to our growing fan base. Every single time I check the Instagram, we got more followers, we got more people getting on there, enjoying our stuff, more people in our DMs responding to commentary. So excited for the year, and kind of all the good stuff that's coming with growing.
Absolutely. Shout out to all the followers on Instagram too, by the way. Love you guys. But what we need to talk about next, I think, before we dive into the Sentry Tournament Champions at Kapalua and the field, how strong it is this year and everything like that, because I do love Kapalua and Hawaii and the way they start the golf season on the PGA Tour. Real quickly, before we do that, just want to let all of our listeners know that we are running a DraftKings Bogey Proof Daily Fantasy Cup. Shout out friend of the program, TJ Wireback. Fantasy Golf League this year. It's going to feature 15 events, be $250 to get in, with weekly payouts of $150 to first, $50 to second. All the weekly kind of entries or whatever, it's all through DraftKings. So you just need a DraftKings account, an email, and be able to Venmo myself or TJ your kind of entry fee. So it's $150, $50 a week for weekly payouts for all 15 weeks, as well as it's going to be set up like FedEx Cup style almost, where the first 12 weeks are your regular seasons. Based on where you finish in the standings each week, you get a certain number of points. Forget the exact numbers of it. We'll send like a formal communication. I will put that out this week on the Instagram, but I think it's like 500 points for a win, 200 for second, whatever the point system is, right? Your top 10 in points, or top 15 players in points after week 12, make it to like the first round of playoffs. You do playoffs week 14 or whatever. Narrow it down to 10 for your final week, and your final week is worth $1,500 to the winner, $400 second, $100 for third place, all based off your initial upfront $250 buy-in. That's kind of the very loose facts of it all. I'm sure that's a lot I just blurbed out. We'll put an Instagram post out there for everybody, but if you are interested, either reach out to somebody on the Bogey Proof staff, text us, email, Instagram, DM, whatever, or just comment/DM us on Instagram so we can keep track, because the way DraftKings, daily fantasy apps, whatever one we end up going through work, you have to set your league either 20 people, or if it's more than 20 people, like if somebody doesn't enter their lineup one week, the whole league won't run. So we trying to do it in increments of 20. So we need to have like a good idea in the next probably 2 weeks. And today's January 4th. So we need to know before Tory, because that's gonna be the first tournament that we do this league with. Like we have to have a rough estimate and decide if we're going to be doing 20 or 2 20s and then doing a point system that way, just to make sure that if so-and-so forgets to put in a lineup one Thursday morning and they start early in the morning, you forget to put in Wednesday night, whatever, right? Because it's tough, 15 weeks. I mean, I missed one for football this year. It happens, but we don't want to then have the whole league not run for a week, right? So we're working on increments, stuff like that. So any of our listeners, if you're interested, it's going to be $250 buy-in, 15 weeks, $150 to the winner of each week, as well as the grand prize season-long championship. For the daily fantasy cup will be $1,500 winner, 400 second, 100 third. So plenty of ways to make some money. We're also going to layer in some Bogey Proof merch. Shout out again, friend of the program, TJ, through his daily fantasy cup and his work, he's able to kind of layer in some Boston Beer Company merch as well. So lots of fun prizes that are going to go along with this. And we're just looking to kind of get some interaction with our followers, our listeners and stuff like that, and have some fun watching a little bit more golf than maybe we normally would if you're not, sweating out a DraftKings lineup on a Sunday night. So just want to get that out there for everybody. And, we're looking forward to kind of interacting with you all more. And without further ado, we will transition to the Sentry Tournament of Champions out in Kapalua, Hawaii. Probably I know after this tournament, the fields get kind of wacky out in Hawaii, but I just love the timing of it when it's on TV, the views you get out in Hawaii, and everything about the January swing, you'll call it, of the PGA Tour season. Just, I don't know if it's because it's 20 degrees back home and it's, looks beautiful there, or if it's I'm not playing golf and I just want any golf I can, or if it's on right when I get home from work. I don't know if it's a little bit of all of that, but I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on the Sentry Tournament of Champions? Because I'm a big fan.
Primetime golf. Gotta love it. Can't hate it. It's the best.
Cannot hate it. Big field this week too.
It's it's nice after we don't always get the pleasure of just coming home and watching live golf, and it's just nice to finally actually do that. Sorry, I'm looking up all the time.
Nice change.
Trying to actually look at the field this week.
I love the golf course. A couple things that come to mind first. I love the golf course.
Oh yeah.
The setting is top notch. Those islands look like mountains out there, across the water on some of those backdrops with, kind of the elevated tee shots, and then kind of the affinity, pool kind of affinity greens that look out there, out Pacific Ocean, and then look over to the other islands. You just don't see that the rest of the year. The color scheme over there, just being on the island and the greens and the blues and everything that go. Again, you do not see that the rest of the year. You don't even see it the next week because Waialae Country Club is such a different golf course than Kapalua. Being kind of more landlocked and a smaller, kind of tighter golf course. I just think that this, if we were talking movies, Kapalua is the perfect casting for the first tournament of the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is the perfect actor, right? It's the perfect scene. It's sort of an exhibition this week, right? We got 39 guys in the field, or 38, whatever it is, of the 39 winners. And it's sort of an exhibition. It's the best of the best. Not a lot of people have played recently. There's not a lot of stress on this week. It's a lot of
knocking the rust off.
It's a lot of knocking the rust off. It's an easy golf course. It's a big ballpark. It's really a very celebratory week, I would say. You don't see a lot of people bummed out when they go, even if they struggle this week. And struggling on this golf course is 10, 12 under. But they still got a smile on their face. They're enjoying their time in Hawaii. No cut. I just think it is the perfect casting for a tournament to start the year. And I think the PGA Tour's gotten this one right. They've gotten a lot wrong, over their time of kind of bringing different golf courses and going to different locations. But this one's right, tried and true, really good results in history, right? Ernie Els and Tiger down the stretch, Bubba Watson hitting that driver off the deck, ridiculousness. I just think it really is a great scene and a cool place, whether you enjoy the golf, you enjoy the scenery. Like, it's kind of like a fucking, picture frame up there on your TV for 4 or 5 hours. It's just nice and relaxing to hang out on your couch and watch it. So really excited for this week before we even get into the players and kind of how strong the field is and how exciting it is to watch some of the best players in the world. Excited to kind of be transported to Kapalua and I think it's not, is it Maui? I don't know if Kapalua is on Maui, but just
think so.
Excited to watch this week for sure.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think I like that little movie analogy too. It's perfect casting. Like, it's if they rolled out, not to throw it under the bus, but like walleye, however you say it, they rolled that one out first. I bet you nobody even knows it's happening, right? It's one of those, but Kapalua, just like with the elevation that's going on the island and things of that nature, just the way the golf course is placed, the way it portrays on TV, it's the perfect storm to be like, yo, golf is back. Like, it says golf is back with a little bit of an emphasis, versus being like, oh yeah, there's some golf being played. Like, no, golf is back when Kapalua starts. And I also think, like you mentioned, like Bubba's driver on that hole, like I think the 18th hole, like that 18th hole is like one of the better 18th finishing holes I can think of. Like the way it's like this reachable par 5, but like the way you reach it is you have to hit a fucking slinger out to the right and like roll it for 40 yards. Like, it always is like such a cool finish. And like, I just remember like when Jordan won there in 2016 or 2015, he hit this like 2-iron, like 1.5 feet off the ground, rope hook, like up in the, like Bubba's driver, same shape or whatever. And like things like that. Tiger and Ernie doing the same thing back in 2000 when they went back and forth trading eagles on that hole and stuff like that. It's a really cool finishing hole where a lot can go on. Like, we had playoffs there, I think the last couple of years, where pars were winning it just because of like, you get the wrong wind out there because you are on an island. It can get pretty windy out there. Like, it's an awesome golf course that like I said, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not the most like true challenge or anything of that nature, but it's just super fun to like get these guys back out there, get the stars in front of you on TV. Like, it's shorter in the fact that like after they hit their tee shots, it's a lot of like inside 100 yards for these guys, but off kind of weird angles, and like you get wind going, so you get to see some pretty nifty wedge shots. And that's why you have guys like Patrick Reed and Justin Thomas and Xander Schauffele always seem to be kind of poking around this leaderboard with their wedge play. But also you get guys like, Harris English, who just fucks the ball all over the place. Or I think Bryson came in like 6th or 7th last year, like putting like an idiot. Like, it can go a lot of different ways out there, just due to the kind of the quirkiness of the course and the lay of the land out on the island. But it always seems to provide like some pretty good drama down the stretch of, I think Xander shot like 60 here to win 3 years ago or something crazy like that on a Sunday to chase people down. Like, you always get something at Kapalua, it feels like. And granted, part of that's probably due to the field, like Mikey was saying, with 40 past winners. I think this year they have like all but Rory for like the top 20 in the world, I want to say, something like that. Like, they have star-studded field, and it's just one of my favorite tournaments of the year, honestly. If it had a little more weight to it and meant a little more, I'm sure it'd get a little more respect. But being first of the year, can't ask for much more else. What do you guys think for players this week? I mean, we can pull up the field real quick, but like, anybody stick out to you, from whether it's a gambling perspective or somebody you just want to see where their game's at, you don't even know what to expect, really? Like, anybody that you're like keeping an eye on this week, whether it's to win or whether just like, hey, what do we have for in 2022 with this guy? Because I think there's a lot of different storylines you could pick for a lot of different players this week.
The one and only Sung J M.
What's getting you going about Sung Jae this week?
I don't know, man. There's just something about that guy. He's just got it. Don't know what that is, but he's just got it. He's a workhorse, and I like his work ethic.
He is a workhorse, that's for sure.
Joey, my mind goes to your other guy.
I have
Jordan
a couple
Spieth.
of guys.
Jordan
Who's
Spieth.
Jordo?
I think
Yeah.
he has shown here, and he's won here. He won in 2016. When his game is sharp, like this is a quirky golf course. Like you can miss it off the world. The driver doesn't have to behave. Like I just think, I don't know. He's finished top three times. He's only played here 4 times. Like I just think this is the type of golf course I'm really excited to watch him play because we saw a lot of good things from him last year, and we saw a trending Jordan Spieth. And if he is able to kind of reset, I know he had a kid, and we know how that affects a lot of different people. John Rahm, Rory McIlroy, the latest last year. So Jordan Spieth, when his game is sharp, he excels here. If he's kind of reset and playing well and plays well this week, I expect a big year from him. And if he wins this week and kind of starts, he's got to be your favorite coming into Augusta. Just the way his capabilities around the green and finding a little bit of form. And for him, it's not even hitting it great. It's like finding form how to win and like hit golf shots that produce wins. And for him, like that's how, at least in my opinion, that's how he produces his confidence. Some people just flush the shit out of it, and their practice like rewards them with confidence. For him, it's wins that produce the confidence, at least in the past, and he wins them in bunches. So he's someone I'm kind of keeping a keen eye on this week.
Jordan, for me, as much as I think like he absolutely, if he shows any kind of form, it's going to be a good year, but he's one of the guys that like absolutely shut it down after the Ryder Cup, like didn't touch any of that fall season. Mm-hmm. Hasn't, like you said, he had a kid, so he's, obviously mind's a little bit elsewhere. So it's like, I'm interested to see like, is this like straight up exhibition this week? Am I just coming out here to like, all right, let's get under the gun again. Let's knock the rust off, and let's like using this as my practice
because he's done that before.
Or has he been working while he's been home? Yeah.
He's done
or
that.
Or has he been working
past.
when he's home and he's coming out ready to fucking fire, and he's gonna like, I bet I'll put it this way. If Jordan Spieth is in the top 5 this week, at the end of the day, whether he wins or not, if he's in the top 5, that shows that he's been practicing enough to the point where like that stock's through the roof for me now for the rest of the year. Like that long of a break, if he comes into that, like working on things, getting things in place, and like you said, if he has any kind of like, this is his perfect, like let the creativity run wild, hit the driver hard, use the slopes and everything that's out there to your advantage to keep it in the short stuff, and then like get super creative with the wedges and the iron play, like right up his alley. If he's top 5 this week, like, which I really think he could be, it's just a matter, it's like either top 5 or he's going to be bottom 5. Like I don't see him finishing in the middle there. Like he either comes ready to play, or like this is him practicing this week, he's just doing it on TV. Like I don't know which way it's going to go with him. But Joe, you got any guys like that you're like interested to see play? Not that you think they're going to win, or is it just all you want to see is Sungjae and Jordan like battle out?
Yeah. We mentioned Patrick Reed. I always like watching him play because I think he's just a fun player to watch, honestly, and I think he's just very good. I mean, I guess all the other.
He's fun to watch with the wedges around here.
Yeah,
like little nippers and stuff like that, like little spinning.
And cuts. You never know what he's going to show up from an outfit standpoint, because he's changed.
I think one year companies. He wore. I think one year, and maybe it was the year he made that switch. He just showed up on a straight up. It looked like a Hawaiian t-shirt, like just straight floral, like pink and like blue, and just looked like he's not he's not Eric Van Ruin or whatever. Like he doesn't have like the athletic fit to wear shit like that. Like it's like, shout out to Western New England. Like it's like when Mike G would wear just absolutely absurd shit. Like if I ever put that stuff on, I'd look like an idiot. But like Mike G's, tall, athletic, fit, like, got the look and whatever about him where he can just wear just obscene clothing and like somehow pull it off, where it's like, if I put that on, I just look like an asshole. And I feel like that's like what Patrick Reed does. Like you ever see like Twitter memes or whatever of like what you think you look like and what you actually look like, of like Tiger in the Sunday red versus him in the Nike red. Like it's just like, as much as like, to totally go on the tangent here, but like, as much as I agree with your take, Joey, Patrick Reed, I think, lost in the playoff here to JT a few years ago. Like, plays this golf course really well, but it's just funny, like, to Mikey's point, like, I'm more interested to see what he wears. Like, let's see what Patrick Reed shows up with a tie this week.
Another note, though, I mean, it's just a solid field. You know, I think there's going to be a lot of good golf.
Rahm. We didn't even mention the number one player in the world or the number 2 player in the world yet. Like, between Rahm and Morikawa, you got Phil the Thrill playing there for the first time in like 15 years. No idea what his golf game is going to be like.
Fuck.
JT, multiple time winner.
JT, yup. I'm interested to see. I learned this one on Twitter today, but I'm interested to see how our guys Daniel Berger and Victor Hovland play, because they don't have their clubs yet. They arrived in Hawaii and their clubs got lost along the way somehow. So they're both just chilling on the island right now, like not being able to practice or like, hit balls or do anything to kind of prep for the week. So keep an eye on those guys. I also did read another stat that when Hovland won more Mayakoba or whatever last year, he won that with James Hahn's driver because he cracked his like in the practice round. So maybe he doesn't need his clubs, but definitely something to keep an eye on. I don't know. I can't imagine. I mean, these guys do it every week. They're not nervous about playing in tournaments, especially one like this. But it's like, imagine going there and they're still playing for money. It's not for nothing. And like, you just can't practice all week because you're lost on the airplane. Like, I'd be like, I don't know. These guys are professionals. That's what they can handle that shit. But I'd be in a fucking blender. I'd be done for the week.
He's probably just like rolling.
Nightmares about that.
He's probably just like rolling a couple putts and working out and enjoying the beach club. I mean,
because they don't have vans out there in Hawaii either. They don't get like the full tour vans, so they can't like make them a bag.
I mean, I think so. Hovland's off second on Thursday. So
not great.
Hopefully
he was second to last.
Hopefully he gets his stuff out there. I think the funniest thing too about this type of field is the discrepancy, and it's two sums, right? So the discrepancy between like the elite players and kind of the premium names in golf, and then the other, like the first time winners or like a lot of guys that win in the fall, we just end up with like some very interesting pairings out there, right? Like, second of the first pairing of the round, 9:40 on Thursday, Garrick Higgo and Joel Damon, like good, well-known names. Don't get me wrong, good players, and then followed up by Victor Hovland and Brooks Koepka. Victor Hovland had arguably from post Ryder Cup had the best fall of anybody. I think that's probably safe to say. Him and Sam Burns, meteoric like rise. Brooks Koepka, really good season last year as far as just like playing really solid and being kind of lingering around. Wins in Scottsdale. And I think we have seen so much confidence from Brooks Koepka, and not in like an arrogant way. Like, I think he's become more polished. I don't know if it's like dealing with, Bryson's like stupidity or like just being a little more in the limelight from not playing as well after really being kind of the class of golf for a 2-3 year period. I think he's humbled a little bit. I think he's really polished and he's kind of scary. Like, I think we could be in for a good year from Brooks Koepka too.
I agree. I think he gets it. I think he's like probably going to win a major this year. I think Southern Hills fits him a lot. I think Country Club, he could figure it out around. Like, I think both of those just give me just like, I mean, it's not like this is some hot take. I mean, he's been in the top 5 of like every major the last 4 years, it feels like, but I just really can't picture if he stays healthy and, asterisks and all this, right? Like, it's all if he's in the right space going into these tournaments, but like, I can't see a leaderboard on Sunday of either of those two tournaments with the courses and whatnot. Like, he's not in the lead, around the lead, threatening the lead, come, maybe it's just the front nine Sunday and somebody pulls away, but I can't picture him not being involved in not being a storyline or a non-factor in either of those. He's just, like you said, he's just so confident, and he's gotten better about the arrogance, like tone it gives off. Like he's kind of, I don't know if he's toned it back or just learned to kind of phrase things a little bit better, whatever it may be. But it's just like, I can't picture it not happening. It's just nuts. And even St. Andrews too, like he'll be fine there. Like he just seems to just have this like, yeah, I'm like not gonna get all worried about it. I'm just gonna hit the shot that's right in front of me. Like, I don't know, I'll figure it out later. Like it's just, and he does it pretty fucking well. So
That'd just be able to think that.
I know, right? Brooks is like, and I mean, I know the match was like a complete exhibition, whatever, but he played good golf in that. Like he was like 3-4 under through 9 holes. I mean, it's not like that is any kind of, true test of golf. It's a resort course or whatever. So it's like nothing crazy, but I mean, he made Bryson look pretty shitty. I mean, he beat him like handedly. So, yeah, Brooks is another really, like, his health has been an issue last like 18 months, and that's no longer a factor for him. I mean, he's a threat anytime he tees it up if he's got the right mindset.
No, I agree with that. I see him open.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's got a chance there for sure. And before we kind of go, maybe we'll do a little pick'ems between the two people. But so with that first pairing, we had Higo, Damon, Hovland, Koepka, and then we go Taylor Gooch, Abe Answer. Like those are just like three wildly different pairings.
Yeah, we
have studs, in Hovland and Koepka, who are kind of at the top of the game, really kind of like two of the, Brooks obviously being a little bit arrogant, but like Hovland, one of the most likable people on the PGA Tour, really kind of like this young, fresh face that's, going to be the part of the European Ryder Cup team for probably 10, 15 years, if not more. And then kind of two people that have came into their own. Abe Answer has been really good the last three years, but finally gets it done at TPC Southwind on a big time golf course that's produced winners like DJ in the past. JT won there. Like that's a big time golf course. That's a really good field. He showed us something last year. I think he showed us something in the President's Cup at Royal Melbourne. He showed us again that he is a top 25 player in the world and can get it done. He hadn't won yet. I think kind of change that. And then Taylor Gooch, right? Like I think we've kind of been waiting, for a couple of years for him to jump on the scene. And I don't know how much you guys watched him at Sea Island or how much you kind of watched before, but like he goes after it. It's just like it's a shallow, hard attack. Like he attacks the golf ball. Really fun, really athletic move. And someone who people have been singing his praise from his peers have been for a long time. So excited to see kind of what he can do with full status, a win under his belt, and really kind of not just the confidence of others, but the confidence within himself to have a big year out there.
Yeah. He gives me like, and I'm kind of getting ahead of a question I was going to ask, but like he gives me some Sam Burns vibes, the way it's just a very free, like you said, attack the golf ball. Like they're not trying to like squeeze anything anywhere. Like they're picking a shot and fucking hitting it. Like it's a different, it just looks different. Like it just looks aggressive. It feels aggressive, everything about it. Even if they're hitting safe shots, just doesn't look that with like the way they take a pass at a golf ball. But the question I was going to ask you guys is and Sam Burns had one of the more historic rises last year from an official world golf ranking standpoint. Like, who is your guy? Because he went from like 100 something to like 11th by the end of the calendar year. Like I think he was like 156 at this exact date last year, and he's 11th, I think, right now in the world golf ranking. So, who is your guy? And I don't know if I assume he's not going to be at this tournament, being that low in the rankings. But like, who is someone that you think about as we look forward to 2022? And we'll get back to some Kapalua matches or anything like that. But like, who's your guy 2022? It's like, hey, I've seen this guy kind of pop up here and there, hasn't broke through yet, but like when he breaks through, he's going to rattle them off and like just be in the top 5, top 10, like every fucking week for a few weeks stretch here. Once he kind of gets that, whether it's confidence, whatever it may be. Because what Sam Burns did last year, and even Max Homa to an extent too, like both of those guys just went from, hey, you know who they are. You've seen them pop up here and there to like, you expect them to be there now. Given their course fit and, if they're showing any kind of form going into a week. Joe, you got anybody in mind?
I mean, they're crazy to say, like, I could actually see Jordan coming back to that this year, but I also just don't want to pick him because I always do. But like,
I honestly thought you were gonna go with the Rat.
I was gonna say the Rat's got status.
I mean, for the sake of the Rat, I hope so, but we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, so I'm working out today. I was Instagram.
Dude, did you see that? He said he was floating. He was just like chilling like that.
Yeah, it seems like I believe I can fly. Do a little core work and isolating some muscles in the core. He's like, I believe I can fly.
Dude, I love that.
Shout out to the Rat, man. Always keeps you entertained with the Instagram.
He's just one of a kind. Asian John Daly, as he likes to call himself. Yeah, no. I'm just even going through like the.
All right, so I got a couple, Joey, as you're kind of thinking, I got a couple guys, and this is someone that I brought up in the 2020 US Open because he was playing the Corn Ferry at that time. He had won a bunch, so he was like top 5 on the Corn Ferry, so got an exemption to play at Winged Foot. Cameron Young is a Corn Ferry guy who won 3 times. He won 2 or 3 times last year on the Corn Ferry. I think he's from New York originally. Little fun fact: his dad's the head pro at Sleepy Hollow, so that's kind of cool. Okay. Played at Wake Forest. A ridiculous amount of speed, like 130 swing speed regularly. It's insane. It's like Bryson, 190 ball speed, like kind of normal swinging it. So my big take is I think Cameron Young wins on the PGA Tour this year, kind of coming from unknown, at least in the PGA Tour circles. I also think a guy that kind of, played well. He played well at Bermuda, really struggled on Sunday, but Taylor Pendrith won multiple times in the Corn Ferry Tour. Won 3 times on Canada the year before. He's like 31, 32. Took him a while kind of to get where he wants to be, but really a talent that we need to look out for. So those are kind of my 2 guys way under the radar that I think win on the PGA Tour this year and maybe finish in the top 50 or have a chance to be rookies that make it to East Lake. Those are kind of 2 guys under the radar.
I like that. And then I just pull up the World Golf rankings, and I have 2 guys that kind of stick out to me. They're pretty like well qualified players, I'll put, but like they're Euro guys for the most part, so they haven't really made their splash in the PGA Tour yet. Robbie Mack, Scottish boy, lad, whatever you want to call him. I think last year he kind of snuck into the top 50 in the world and kind of surprised himself, it feels like, or at least that was kind of the vibe I got from, I saw a lot of interviews with him of being like, holy shit, I'm in the whatever, like the WGC here or a major here or whatever, that he qualified by getting his world ranking up by some Euro Tour play. And then I think he kind of all of a sudden was just like, he didn't plan for it, and he like didn't feel like he was prepared for it because it like kind of surprised him more than anything. Where I think now that he had a taste of that, game kind of fell off once he got to that point. I think kind of circle back, re-strategize, and now you can do that. Like that's where you should be, whatever, and like play towards that and plan towards that. He just seems like, I want to say at Augusta, he like was top 20 at his first time around there and stuff like that. And then, like I said, kind of was shaken by it and then kind of fell back behind. But like, I see him as a guy that's like, hey, like I'm going to show up, whether it's at St. Andrews at his homeland, whatever, or, a tournament that just kind of has that one of those like Florida swing events or something like that, where it gets super windy and firm and he can kind of just go back to his roots, whatever it may be. Something like that. I think he just kind of makes a little bit more splash and more of a noise and is in those PGA Tour playoffs, whatever you want to call it, this year, the FedEx Cup playoffs this year. And then Minwoo Lee, who's another guy, like Euro guy that won a couple times last year, cracked the top 50 right at the end of the season, but like super young. The swing, like unbelievable, like mechanically watching that swing, like you don't understand how he's as far down in the world rankings as he is. Honestly, when you watch that swing, it's fluid, it's effortless, it's powerful, everything like that you kind of look for in a golf swing. So, and he's super young too. So maybe he just kind of had to figure out how to be on tour and like that touring life before he could actually play golf. So those are two guys that like not on my radar ever before watching like kind of the Euro Tour stuff at the end of this year, but those are two guys I'm definitely going to keep an eye on whenever they get into the PGA Tour fields, or keep an eye on them in the bigger Euro tournaments as guys that are going to come out and make a little more noise this year, and I think really solidify themselves as top 50, get closer to that top 30 area of the world golf rankings. Like I can see them having a year where they're in the same conversation as a Max Homa, Taylor Gooch, who's pretty high up there right now because he just won, like Mackenzie Hughes, like guys like that. Like I feel like that's more of their ballpark than like Russell Henley or like Ian Poulter or like Bernd Wiesberger. Like I feel like they're ready to make that jump to that kind of next tier and kind of solidify themselves in the big money events.
And I mean, Minwoo Lee finishing 49th at the end of the year, getting that Masters invite. That's huge confidence boost, obviously.
Exactly.
Young kid like
and
that.
I think doing now gets him like to be able to think like, hey, I belong here, and like plan my year to be in that top 50. Or Robbie Mack, like he got in like last second. It was like, holy shit, and then like played in the Masters, played well, and then all of a sudden like was like, wait, I'm in all these now too, and like didn't have the form I think he would have liked, but he's got a cool story.
Proper player, a proper player.
Proper. Big lefty, just fucking mashes it. But he plays like I'm trying to think of like he plays this other sport in Scotland, like that's like a Scottish only kind of sport, whatever, and like he does that to practice his golf because it's kind of like, I don't want, like, this is gonna sound bad comparing this, but it's like similar to field hockey, but it's obviously not that. There's hitting and like it's like,
yeah, I remember seeing a picture of him playing.
It's like rugby and field hockey kind of mushed together. And he plays that to practice when he's home in Scotland, like rather than like grinding on the range, because it like works on like his impact with like that right arm leading the way and stuff like that. And like, just, I love guys that have like that more natural vibe to them than being like this. I had lessons my whole life, and I like guys like that more like than the guys that are like, hey, I had lessons my whole life. This golf swing, like I got like basically like, like I like put on my golf swing every day, versus like a guy like him, he's like, oh, I'm just gonna go see that ball and I'm gonna hit it as hard as I can, and then I'm just so talented and good with my hands, and it's like so natural to me that I can get it in the hole with the best of them too, without having like proper mechanics. Like, just refreshing to have guys like that in the mix every once in a while.
I want to find that picture of him playing.
I know it was floating around on Twitter and stuff like that, and I can't think of the name of the sport, and I should have brought the picture up, but I'll find it. I'll clip this, throw it on Instagram next week. But alrighty. Any other than that, we got anything else we want to talk about? We can do more 2022 goals for ourselves, kind of next go around, and talk more 2022 like outlook as we get into kind of past the Hawaii swing and get into the big boy tournaments in California and playing Riv and Torrey and Pebble, and then Bay Hill, and once we get into the meaty part of the PGA Tour season here, come February, March, we'll talk more on our projections and gear up for those majors. But anything else 2022 we want to talk about as
Fontaine, non-golf related question.
Shinty.
As a person doing dry January, when you really need a drink, what do you go for? Like, I guess break it. Can you break down your liquids throughout the day for us?
Yeah, I can do that.
And then maybe go to like I need, like, when you're like really struggling, like what you go for.
Yeah. So, every morning, pretty simple, black coffee, whatever, some water, get the water going early and often.
Are you a water first and then coffee, or a coffee then a water guy?
I'm a drink half a water before coffee. Like, coffee going right into the system before anything else usually just leads to like a funky stomach for like the first half of the day. Got to get some water in there first, set a base, Then you get the coffee in there, get some breakfast going, whatever. Then I usually head off to the office. I try to bring like little mini protein shake thing to have like in between breakfast and lunch. I don't, because like the office, like shout out to my new employer, like they just got snacks everywhere. So if I don't like think about my meals every time I go to fill up my water or whatever, I'm just gonna grab another Cliff Bar or another whatever Nutri-Grain bar or another Rice Krispie treat or another, they just have all that kind of shit. So it's like if I don't like think about what I'm eating throughout the day, I'm just gonna graze and eat like an asshole. So I try to bring like a little mini protein shake, and that's my like 10:30 like snack. So that's technically a liquid, right? So then other than that, water's all morning. Once I get to lunch, I'll break into the LaCroix in the fridge, get a couple of those going.
What's your go-to flavor?
So you kind of, I mean, all over the place. They must get like a variety pack from LaCroix. They do like a bulk order or whatever, but they have like this limoncello one. Very good. Very good.
Sounds
and then they have
refined.
mango, obviously, is a classic. They got all the berries, whatever, all the good ones. But I've been doing limoncello a lot lately. That's a good one. So I usually have one with lunch, kind of regroup, have another one in the afternoon, maybe another coffee if we need it in the afternoon, and then pretty much waters the rest of the night. And if I'm sick of the water, I'll mix in some kind of flavored seltzer, whatever I can find at home. But that's really all I'm drinking right now, because like I'm not a Diet Coke guy. Never really got into that. I've always just done coffee if I need a little boost. And if I'm not, I don't like regular soda or anything like that really either. I'll have one every once in a while if I'm having like the right meal with it. But for most part, I try and stay away from that. And yeah, it's just shit ton of water, a lot of coffee, flavored seltzers. It's really just a boring. I have like my OJ in the weekend mornings when I'm making like a big breakfast with like eggs and whatever. But like right now, I'm just like eating oatmeal, so it's like I have orange juice and oatmeal. It doesn't really go. So just not a lot of fun liquids going on for dry January. It's all about the cleanse more than like enjoying my like liquids.
Are you an energy drink guy?
No, I like.
Did you have a phase?
Yeah, in like
everyone had a phase.
Yeah, a little bit in college I would do them, like just because I didn't like love coffee yet. And then definitely during like busy season and at work the last few years, like you've had 2 coffees already and it's 4:00 and you're like falling asleep and it's like, all right, the coffee just doesn't work anymore. I need to like surprise the body with a different source of caffeine. And you throw a quick like Monster Hydro or like 5-hour energy in the system and like do something like that. Those just ruin my body though. I don't feel good after I drink those, but they work for like the staying awake aspect. But yeah, dry January is not the funnest thing in the world. It's more of I'm trying to just kind of little reset and like start the new year with lose some weight. It's easier to do that if I'm not drinking. It's just science. And it also will just kind of be productive January, get the stretching going, get the body moving, like Mikey said earlier this episode, and just be physically ready to roll once golf season starts in New England, whenever that weather turns the corner. And it's no longer 14 degrees every morning and 25 degrees by the time I get out of work, and like can never like even go for a walk because it just freezes the whole time. So that's dry January. It's not fun. There's nothing pretty about it. I'll tell you that. But
doesn't sound it. Doesn't sound.
Yeah, do what you gotta do though.
Happy for you though.
Well,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like if all of a sudden plans are made and something's happening, like I'm going to, knock on wood with this COVID shit, but like I'm supposed to go to Kane Brown concert in like 2 weeks. So, like when I go there, like I'm gonna have a couple of beers while I'm there, but like that'll be it. Like I'm not gonna like drink before it, go out the next night in Boston or whatever. Like I'm just gonna have a couple of beers while literally in the concert, just because I feel like taking away from the concert experience if I don't, and then we move on. So
are you saying you have? Are you insinuating that you have to drink to have fun?
I'm insinuating that if I'm at a country concert, what the hell else are you supposed to do when you're sitting?
My mother, Michael. When I was home, what are you doing, Joe? Going to get hammered? You don't have to drink to have fun. I'm like, yeah, I kind of do.
Kind of do sometimes, though.
Nothing else to do. Might as well get fucking hammered. I don't know. Only makes sense.
Trust me, I've been fucking saying that to myself the whole time I was quarantining. I was like, well, I made it till 4 o'clock today. I got fucking nothing else to do. I'm just gonna be watching more of Yellowstone on the couch, so I might as well
Might as well get
I don't
in.
know, yeah, exactly. Might as well, I don't know, grab some Budweisers or whatever and have some fun with this. I don't know.
Honestly,
But yeah, because
it's funny. Like, there's golf to me, and I like having a couple drinks on the golf course, but there's very few things in life that aren't made better by having like 5-6 beers. But like golf for me is not one. I don't know. I know you guys, Fontaine, I know you like to have your beers on the course. I know you're
yeah,
not.
but it's
You
a
don't,
fine line.
yeah,
Like
you
if I
don't
want
have
to
too
actually
many, but
play
like,
decent golf, it's like I need to be in the 2 to 5 window. If I get any more than 5 beers in me, like there's like a 40-yard chunk at any second around the corner, like there's just like a really bad, like just disastrous golf swing, like waiting to happen, which is fine. Like there's days for that too. But when I'm playing golf in the sense where like I paid to play today, I'm not playing in a fucking scramble. Like I'm playing my own ball and like keeping score. I'll have I probably won't have one, but I'll grab a couple at the turn and have, 2 or 3 on the back nine and then have a bunch in the clubhouse after. Like that's the status quo, I'd say, for
but there's legit with that being right. And then there's the flip of the coin of there has never been a time that I've watched like a day of college football or a day of college basketball that I haven't sat on the couch and said, hey, if I was drinking a beer right now, it wouldn't be better. Like that's just that's just a fact. Like and and it's not even really like the alcohol thing because I don't want to drink vodka. Like I don't want to drink bourbon, but like you just want to like have a beer.
Just want to have a beer. Just feels right. It's like I get that way. Like honestly, I get that way when Tiger's in contention. I'm like, and it's a totally different reason, but I'm like, yo, if I don't have a beer in front of me, like I'm gonna rip my hair out. Like I need something to like knock me down an octave here because like I'm freaking out about his 7-iron from 165 on the second hole that he hit to 20 feet. And it's like, there's going to be a lot of these shots today. I need to calm down. Like there's a lot of different ways that you can play it. I'll probably do the same thing. I do that at Augusta every year too. The Saturday of Augusta, always am like, God, this is amazing. And like, man, I would really love to be like having a beer and just having my full enjoyment here.
Yeah, for sure. But fellas, well, it's always great chatting with you. Lots of tangents today. A great way to kick off 2022. Great year of golf.
I've already fucked up like twice.
I was at work this morning and so as part of my job, I'm like going through a bunch of nonsense paperwork and I'm like got some people that are doing their dissertations and I catch myself. I put in 2021 on this like very official paperwork that needs to get out. And I catch myself last minute as I'm doing my review. I was like, I think I probably, and it goes like straight to the graduate school, whatever. It's like probably would have been a problem if I would have, but luckily it was first day back at work. I was going slow anyways. If I was like in high gear, that's an issue. Yep. But just on all our listeners out there, like I think we talked about a little bit before, like we're doing the gambling segment. We'll get some videos and some links out there for working out and swing videos and instruction and all that kind of stuff. Let us know what you guys want to hear. I think now that we've done this for 14 months, right? Where it's interesting. We're getting into our, third calendar year of doing Bogey Proof and, doing everything on the podcast and all the different social media platforms. I think we've kind of seen it all, at least in some capacity. And we've kind of dipped our toe in it, but really let us know like what you guys are enjoying. Like, do you want to see more cocktail videos? Right. Fontaine went out there and made some pimento cheese sandwich at the Masters last year. Like, do you want some recipes? Like, what do you guys want from us along with kind of doing the golf stuff? Because I think we're ready kind of to diversify ourselves and really produce a really quality product. So let us know, slide into our DMs, let us know how you want to interact and how we can best interact with you guys out there and give you what you want. But fellas, always a pleasure chatting. Hopefully, good luck to Eric out there dealing with the snow in Virginia. Guys got dumped on in like a foot of snow.
Did you say how much they actually got?
I think they got like close to a foot down there, which is like,
It's a lot.
That's a lot in Virginia. So
no, I know, but that's
a lot anywhere.
Yeah, but you know what I'm laughing at. That's just funny. That's nothing up north. You're just like a foot, whatever. That's nothing. It's a lot.
These New Hampshire's different. People are bred different up there.
Apparently. Hey, I've yet to experience a New Hampshire winter, but I just know New York winters and.
Upstate New York, same idea. Yeah.
New York, it's whatever.
Just wake up and you eat it. Take care of that.
Schenectady, tough.
It is tough
out there.
Schenectady.
My dad has a fucking plow on his truck, but refused to plow our fucking driveway. We still have to shovel it, motherfucker.
Get out there and work, Joe. Go out there, get to work.
Ridiculous.
What are you complaining about?
Imagine having the device to make it easier and then not just doing it at your own house. Just didn't make sense. Still doesn't. Baffles me.
Got to teach you a lesson.
Hey, lessons taught, man. I'm just saying, at this point in your life, you might as well do it. But hey, if he wants to get out there, fellas, so be it.
Always a pleasure. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Stay safe out there.
Cheers.